We are at the boot room outside the world famous City Ground. Hope you guys are doing well. And we're in 3D today, boys. This is strange. We're not looking into a mic.
It's real. Look.
Legs. How you doing, Ez?
I'm good, mate. Good to see you guys.
Guys, hope you're well. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as always. And we are going to preview the big one. It's Forest versus Arsenal. Tuesday night under the lights. And we've just been chilling with the AFTV boys, getting their take on it. So make sure you go check out our preview. And did a fantastic job with Robbie, I got to say. Yeah, your boy Robbie.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Robbie's very easy to talk to.
Yeah. And we got the box to box on the AFTV channel, so make sure you check that out as well. But boys, how you feeling ahead of this game, man? It feels big, you know. We need some points here, Ez.
Yeah, if we can get a few players back, a few surprises on that team sheet, I think we can come out with a result. But I'm more confident under Nuno than I have been under any other manager. So yeah, I still think we can get a result.
But we're missing the AFCON boys, and do you worry about the type of team we can put out? Because it could be quite threadbare, couldn't it? Looking ahead to this one.
Yeah, obviously, you know, missing the AFCON boys, missing Taiwo, hopefully MGW will be back. We could really do with that. Tavares obviously can't play against Arsenal. That may that may or may not be a good thing. So we are literally down to the bare bones, and it does concern me. If we could put out our full side, I would be fairly confident. Obviously, not knowing what the side's going to be, but knowing it's not going to be the full side is obviously making me a little bit more nervous than I would be.
Is there, just looking at the Arsenal team quickly, boys, who worries you on that team? I mean, you could list a whole list of them, but is there someone who stands out to you as this season?
Yeah. Well, not particularly this season, but against Forest, Martinelli always seems to do well against us. So he's one that I always think if he does start against us, he's capable of getting a goal or an assist. And the other one for me, I mean, I think Saka's had a poor season really overall, but Odegaard's starting to hit form now, and he's starting to make them tick. And if we can't keep him quiet, he could be a real danger to us. But Martinelli's always been the one against Forest for me, and in recent years that seems to turn up against us, you know. So yeah, I think him and Odegaard over two we got to keep an eye on.
What are you saying, Ant? We know this is your actual club, so
well, funnily enough, I'm at the opposite end of the table, opposite end of the side. Gabriel worries me because we are so poor defensively from set pieces, and they are so good offensively from set pieces. That's a worry for me with Turner, and I'm sorry to say Murillo's lack of aerial ability. I'm worried about the likes of particularly Gabriel because the guy's a monster, and from corners and free kicks, that worries me.
Yeah, you got to agree with that, haven't you? I think they're top now in the league from dead ball situations. We're a bit suspect when it comes to that. But, you know, it's the thing I kind of want to move on to talk about, boys, is the style of the football for this one. Because speaking to the AFTV boys, I mean, when we said to Robbie that it's not going to be low block park the football, his eyes lit up, didn't they? And is this almost, I hate to say it, but do we need to play a Cooper-style setup as for this one for Forest to get something out of it? Because they struggle against low block.
Exactly. So it's not just an anecdotal thing. They do struggle against a low block team and find it hard to break them down. And that could work in our favour, and it certainly did last season in the reverse fixture at home. So yeah, there is a possibility that we'll sit a little bit deeper, but with Nuno, it's more of a counter-attack, and we are capable of doing that. Scoring goals under Nuno hasn't been the issue, it's keeping them out of the back, so we can frustrate them for sure. But I think there'll be more to it than just sitting back. There will be a counter-attacking element to it, which won't be the same as what they've received on previous occasions coming down here, to be fair.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Ant? Do we go low block?
I agree with Des. I don't think we'll go ultra Cooper style low block. That's just not going to happen.
But do we need to, is what I'm saying?
No, because it didn't do us any good. I mean, I know I'm not talking about against Arsenal specifically last season, but in general, low block's not done us a lot of good anyway against teams. So I've got no faith in that system for Forest anyway. I much prefer Nuno's way of doing things, which is counter-attacking, which means being solid in defence but having that ability to pounce quickly and go forward. That's something we didn't have under Cooper because we were so low block. We couldn't get out, Whereas now we can at least get out, and we have the players capable of getting out. So I don't think it'll be ultra low block. I think it'll be counter-attacking style. Obviously, trying to remain strong in defence, but having that ability to spring forward.
Let's look at it from our perspective, boys. Kind of start to piece this team together. We're in agreement. We all love Murillo, but I think everyone will agree aerially he does get under the ball a bit and gets a bit trapped. And obviously Omar Bamadeli's come in the last game or two. The only real options are, obviously we don't know the fitness details yet, but it's really, you would assume Murillo's going to be on the team sheet, and Omar Bamadeli. Were you happy with that pairing, or would you consider maybe a Worrell, and who else would we have? Potentially McKenna available to partner him. What would you go with centre back wise?
Genuinely, with what we've got available, you can't see past Murillo and Omar Bamadeli. He's had a decent debut, to be fair, and then he's thrown into a league game where, yes, I think he made one mistake for their third goal, but I think generally he settled in really well, and considering that was his debut, I think he's one of those players that we don't have much choice right now. I think we're going to have to throw him in, but the options behind him don't fill me with any confidence whatsoever. So yeah, even though they're the most inexperienced pairing we have got at centre back, you got to look at Murillo and Bamadeli starting on Tuesday night against the Gooners.
You in agreement with that pairing? Would you chuck Worrell maybe for a bit of aerial presence?
No, I wouldn't. I would stick with Murillo and Omar Bamadeli.
Hey, he's learning the name.
Yeah, I would stick with those two because they're both ball players for a start. I like ball playing centre halves. It's all right having Worrell in there for aerial defence, but he makes mistakes, so we can't afford that. So yeah, I would stick with those two definitely.
All right, I'm gonna hit you with the hard one, and I'm sick of asking, but we gotta ask for the record. Yeah, I didn't even need to ask the question. Yeah. Answer it.
I'd keep Turner in goal. No, I would, because I have even less confidence in Vlachodimos than I do in Turner. At least Turner can stop shots. But let me just say one thing, right? Because I can see you're not impressed with that answer. Where Arsenal can come under pressure is when teams press them, and we're having Dominguez, a superb presser. Hopefully MGW is back, he can press as well. If we can press them, that I believe gives us more of a chance of coming out of the game with something, rather than, as we have done in the past, just sit back and let them do what they like.
Yeah. For me, I'm more worried about the way they're going to press us, because they're going to realise that, obviously, it's been the case, the last couple of games, the away fans have got right on Turner. They know that he's a liability, and I can just see them pushing up really high and looking to exploit that. So, I still think there's not much between the goalkeepers, but with the ball at his feet, Vlachodimos fills me a lot more confidence than Turner, and I think if we're going to try and play that way and Arsenal are going to try and look for that weakness, I think the worst thing we can do is put Turner in goal personally.
Yeah, I can absolutely see that, because as we mentioned earlier, Arsenal's dead ball situations, coming out for crosses, neither of them inspire with confidence coming out for crosses, do they? Turner does come out a little bit more than Vlachodimos. He does tend to stick on his line, but it's a weak spot for us, and we know that.
I think whoever you go for, we could argue the cons for the art. I'd just put Worrell in goal, just to be done with it. But yeah, the midfield for me is a bit hard to pick at the moment, because there's a lot of players that are coming into form. I thought Danilo was looking really good against Brentford the other week. I think Dominguez for me is the first name on the team sheet at the moment. And then obviously there's all the transfer speculation surrounding Mangala and what have you. We don't know what MGW is going to be like. We don't know what's happening with the wingers. But we assume Nuno's going to stick to the 4-2-3-1. He did it against Man U and Newcastle, so it doesn't feel like he's going to budge from his philosophy. Give us your CMs, your 6s and 8s. So who are you going with in that one? Let's kick off you, Ant.
Well, you wouldn't be an 8 anyway. I would have to go with Mangala and Dominguez. Mangala at 6, Dominguez at 8.
You drop in Danilo then?
You're assuming MGW's back?
Let's work on that. But either way, I mean...
No, if MGW is not back, I'd have Danilo in there as well. I'd have 2 8s. Yeah.
Yeah, but he hasn't been doing that, has he? He's been putting Dominguez out on the left. he almost played Danilo as the 10 kind of against.
That's what I'd do.
All right, fair enough.
At times, Danilo was one of the deepest of all the central defenders. You know, he's slotting in between the back two. So it's a very fluid formation in that sense. But I think if we can still play Mangala, he'd be in there. And if a free for me, and it would be a three-man midfield, would be Mangala, Dominguez and Danilo for me. I think Yatesy will probably have a shout in there. But I think it's all depending on how we're playing the Mangala situation.
So you changing the formation? Are you going 4-3-3?
Yeah, 4-3-3.
You think he'll do that?
I think it's potential because it gives it does give a chance to be more fluid in that formation. I think you can change it up a little bit more, but it also depends on what we get coming back, you know, in terms of player availability. And if Mangala's a day away from being sold, then will he risk him in that game? Possibly not. So, you know, it's the day before the transfer window closes, isn't it? So it's a possibility that Mangala's nowhere near the team sheet, but we'll see. I mean, I would go 4-3-3 personally for this game and give us a bit more chance to change up the formation as and when we need it, and I think that works better. But they're the three that I'd go for: Dominguez, Danilo, and Mangala.
I think with those three in the middle, you've got some bite, haven't you? And you need that against Arsenal in that midfield. You need players that, I mean, they've got Declan Rice in there. You know what I mean? You need players that are going to get in and about, and I think all three of those will do that.
Yeah, I just think he'll stick to the 4-2-3-1. I'm not sure what he's going to do. Yeah, I'll just see what he does with the. I think it'll depend on fitness and availability of the players. But without knowing any of that, boys, let's get some predictions in. And you guys in the comments, get your score predictions in down below. How you calling this one as?
Well, I'm confident of getting a result because I think they have got weak points that we can exploit, and I think Nuno will be looking to do that. I think their left back position is where we should be targeting if we're looking to get anything out of this game. But I'll go back to my confidence under Nuno. But I know we can score goals if we can start tightening things up and being a little less giving away silly free kicks on the edge of our boxes, because set pieces are going to be our downfall in that game. But if we can keep it tight and cut out mistakes, I think we're capable of getting a result, and I will go with a 1-1 draw because we can't keep a clean sheet, so we'll give them a goal as well. But yeah, 1-1 draw, and I'd be happy with that.
What are you saying, Ant?
Well, Arsenal have been struggling lately. Obviously, they had the 5-0 against Crystal Palace. That was at the Emirates, and Palace were absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah, you can't read a lot into that one.
We're not going to be like that.
Chat, you heard him. If it's 5-0 Arsenal.
Yeah. So, if Arsenal continue with their struggles, particularly in front of goal, and their lack of cohesion at times, and we can get our players in and about them, particularly with those three midfielders, I think we can pull off another one against them. So I'm going to go for another 1-0 to Forest. I know not conceding, especially with Turner in goal, is almost psychotic, but that's what I'm going to go for.
I'm with you, Arsenal. Sorry, that slipped, man. I was going to say, yeah, you made me this. I just feel, you know what? Turner should know these players. That's the other thing we didn't speak about. But he's been training with them week in, week out, the majority of that squad. So maybe I'm trying to talk myself around into it. I can see a 1-0, and I can see, look, Nuno's record, you brought it up, didn't you? He's played 7 against Arsenal, won 3 times, drawn twice, lost 2. So he has a positive record against them. Always caused them problems when he was managing Wolves there. So I'm quietly confident, and there's something about this place. When Arsenal come here, they always struggle. I think the last one I remember was in the Cup. They beat us. Was it when Xhaka made his debut? Was it 3-0 back in the day?
I can't remember Arsenal ever. I can't remember. They beat us 5-0 in the Cup away, the League Cup away, when Martinelli made his debut. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't chat. I think it was 3-0 and Xhaka scored. That was the last time. Yeah, that was the last time they beat us here. I'm going back about 7-8 years. It's a cup game. Yeah. Xhaka scored a blaster from the edge of the box.
I think you're right, because of the cup games we lost one. Won one, didn't we? Yeah. So yeah.
No, we won two. We won two.
Yeah, going back to the Lehigh game. Yeah. So 1-2, lost 1. Yeah, I think you're right. And that was at the City Ground. But I say that's a long time ago, and Xhaka's nowhere near them at the moment. But yeah, confident. I'm really confident. I think we can get something out of this.
I'm going 1-0. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Chat, get your chat. So we're not live. Get your comments in down below, your score predictions. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. And yeah, if you come into the match, make sure you come to the boot room. It's fantastic, and big shout out to them for letting us set up in here. So make sure you show them some love on the match day. We'll see you soon. Come on, you Reds.